Hey guys, how's it going? It's Rob Sutton with Bike 198. I don't know if you've noticed lately, but when you go to your local trail, there are a lot more riders riding flat pedals. They're looking to unclip and get some of that confidence and stability that you can get out of a flat pedal. So today I want to take a look at the Stamp 7 from Crank Brothers. So let's get at it. All right, before we go into what I actually think about these pedals after using them for a little over a month now, let's go ahead and get into the specs so I can let you know what we're looking at specifically. These are the size small. There are 10 adjustable pins per side on these pedals. They're made out of forged 6061 T6 aluminum with a 100 millimeter by 100 millimeter footprint. Both the inner and outer bearings are glide bearings that are serviceable. The spindle is a 435 chromoly steel. They come with a warranty of 5 years and a weight of 345 grams per pair claimed. The profile of these pedals range from 11 millimeters to 13 millimeters. At the thickest point, they are a concave platform to give you a little bit more grip, and the large size bumps you up to 114 millimeters by 111 millimeters, which gives you a little bit more of a wider platform. For comparison, if you lay these smalls up against the Raceface Chester, you will see they are right about the same size. So if you're used to those pedals, these size small will fall right into that category. Crank Brother has a variety of platform pedals ranging from the Stamp 1 all the way to the Stamp 7. That's $50 all the way up to $300. The MSRP on these is actually $159.99, which puts them in more of the premium range. I was able to find them on Amazon for $127, which I will link down in the description below. So what did I think about the Stamp 7s out on the trail? One, the small size comes right to the edge of my 510 Freerider. So if you're looking for something that's going to have a little bit more lateral movement area, you are going to want to step up to the largest, because if you don't get your foot flat on these right where you need them, you will be hanging off the side a little bit. That said, the strategic placement of the threaded pins of these pedals and that two outer placement really lets you dig into the outer rail of this pedal and really get some really good grip out of them. For the adjustable pins, I left them a little bit higher on the outsides and lower in the insides to really kind of exaggerate that concave feeling and get a little bit more grip out of the pedals. That seemed to work out really well. Now, the thin profile of these, coming from 11 millimeters to 13 millimeters, was really good at keeping off of rocks and kind of getting those low bottom hits that you sometimes get on the bottom stroke when you're going through some technical sections. With the larges, I think you're going to get a little bit more of that just because you're extended out a little bit farther. So if you're in an area that does a lot of really rock tech, you might want the smalls over the large just to get a little bit more clearance. Now that said, I really like the smalls from like my just around town with Daniel, just out riding and casual riding. But when it came to really long downhill runs, I felt like I really needed the larges a little bit more, as your foot gets bounced around some more and it gives you that just extra platform to come down when you're going through really high speed runs. So I should say I actually ordered these smalls by mistake. I probably will end up getting some larges just because those really long down mountain runs, you want that extra platform just for that added stability and confidence. Now with this pedal, there is a slight ramp in the center that comes up to the inner bearing. I've seen some riders comment that they felt that while they were riding. That's not something I felt myself. I find it's really hard to tell those little minute differences within a really thick sole shoe like the 510. I never felt like my foot was off at an angle or the ball of my foot was getting any extra pressure. But what that transition does do is it makes it so you don't have a bulge around the bearing. So if you ever come down flat, right next to the crank arm, you're not going to feel some big bulge from the bearing because it slightly ramps down. Just makes it a little bit smoother transition, but I didn't really notice it while riding. It just kind of went away. So these pedals actually came out to 180 grams each, which is a little bit higher than the claimed 347 per pair that Crank Brothers says in their specs, but it's really not all that much to worry about. So overall, I thought the pedals had a ton of grip, especially for this small size. I was really pleasantly surprised. I do want to step up to the largest just to give a little bit more room when I'm coming down on a pedal. I don't have to worry about being perfectly placed to get full coverage on the shoe. But with the 510 Freeriders, even with these smalls, there was plenty of grip. My feet didn't worry about slipping. I think it really comes down to the strategic placement of the pins, and especially those two outside ones towards the outer edge of your foot. They really allow you to dig into these pedals and not worry about slipping off of them in tech runs. The small ones were actually really nice for rock hits because they were smaller profile. Even when I did run them into anything, they really felt pretty robust. There's zero play in these pedals after banging them up against a lot of different things out on the trail. So if you're looking for a super grippy pedal that's available in a couple colors, we obviously just had the black here. The Stamp 7s provide ton of grip when you're riding with shoes designed for it, and overall a pretty good value and comparison with some of those more premium options out there when you're coming to an alloy pedal. They do make a plastic pedal that you can get as well to kind of save on the budget, but really the overall design and the pin placement on this pedal was really great. So guys, let me know down in the comments what you think of the Crank Brothers Stamp 7s, if you're using them, or what you are using now and why you recommend them. If you like reviews like this in the future, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Until then, on to the next one. See ya.